Welcome back to another episode of Who Got the Aux Podcast. The previous episode, I discussed how to complete your New Year's resolutions, and I'm going to give advice on that going into the new year. So first off, Happy New Year to everyone. Welcome to 2023. I hope everybody is motivated and all those other words to chase their goals, dreams, and whatever else it is. So before I get into that though, list, we got to start arguing. We have to stop arguing about list. Lists are pointless. I get it from the marketing standpoint. You create a list. Everyone's going to talk about it, debate it, disagree with it, agree with it. Impressions, numbers, clicks, views. I completely get it. So from a business standpoint, sure, keep doing your list. But people who aren't in the business, stop arguing about lists. Rolling Stone released a list, I think at the end of the year or at the beginning of their top 200 singers, and they had their top 10. And of course, everybody, where's this person? Where's that person? Where's this person? They shouldn't be. It's like music is subjective to the listener. That's the same thing with the greatest rapper of all time, the greatest singer of all time. A lot of people who grew up on the West Coast probably feel like Pac is the greatest. East Coast, Biggie, down South, Scarface, Jay-Z. It's all about how this person perceives it and what it does for them in their life. So that's why you're never going to get a list that everyone agrees with. It's just never going to happen. And it shouldn't happen because that's how music is. There's some artists right now, we have no idea who they are, changing lives for people. And if you were to ask them who are their top artists, that artist would be right there at the top of the list. So from a business standpoint, I get it. It's very, low-hanging fruit, but you do what you got to do to get what you need to get. But people, stop. You see people in comments going at each other, arguing, disrespecting other artists. Like, I couldn't imagine being an artist that has nothing to do with a list, get put on a list, and then have everybody trashing me like I didn't do anything. But neither here nor there. Top of the year. It's funny. Once I started last year, so I keep a journal. I write every month my numbers, what I want to do, what I did, what I could work on, things of that nature. So it's funny when you start documenting monthly, at least for me, how condensed a work year can become. And I say work year because the year itself was long. I did a lot last year, but within the content creating, it was 12 months. It was 12 entries. It was 12 data points of what I did. And this was the first time me being this consistent, me paying attention, like I was paying attention, that you saw where people fall off and how people fall off. And I'm like, oh, we're back here again. And so I remember last year when I started and there were people doing things, certain things, and then you just saw them fall off or whatever the case may be, life happened, whatever it is. And you see people gearing back up again. And I was like, okay, well, this is an opportunity, considering I went through this whole year, so maybe give advice on what kept me going, right? What got me able to become consistent when I wasn't my entire life up until last year. So that's what I wanted to share on this episode. I think one of the first, I might make this like a whole little, just these podcasts I do for the month of January. It might just be strictly on the New Year's resolutions. But you can't get it all in one day or 1 month. And that's where a lot of people mess up at. That's where I used to mess up at. You think that, you want to take all that you didn't do the year before and try to achieve it all in the first month of this year because you feel bad for falling flat or falling off. So you kind of want to get caught up to where you should have been had you kept going. And it's just not going to happen. Like, you're behind in a sense, but that doesn't mean there's nothing to catch up to, right? So if you, instead of thinking like, I'm going to lose this weight, because that's one of the main ones, gym, right? I'm going to lose all this weight, man. If I would have kept going when I started back, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, if you don't lose that weight in January or that crazy number you put up, you become discouraged. And then once you become discouraged, you either move on to something else or you fall off. And that's how your New Year's resolutions disappear. Start looking at it day by day. I did mine's month by month. I gave myself 30 to 31 days to get better, to observe what I was doing, to look at ways that I can do things differently and then move it to the next month, right? So if I had goals like, oh, I wanted this many YouTube subscribers, this many Instagram followers or whatever. So it's like, okay, this is what you did in the 30 days. And for example, for my end of the year last year, I set goals in February for the end of the year, right? And I feel like that's what a lot of you should do is instead of trying to get it by this week or 30 days or 40 days, like you want to give yourself a real look at what you're actually able to do. Because we understand when we're doing this, there's going to be times where you're motivated. There's going to be times where you're not. There's going to be times where you have time, when you don't have time. You know, life happens, jobs, deaths, family. There's going to be a lot of things. So to just give yourself 30 days or 90 days or a week or two isn't fair to yourself, let alone your progress. So I did it for the entire year. And what I saw when I was reading back on it just a little bit was, for instance, I wanted 10,000 likes on TikTok, right? Well, I started my TikTok February of last year, 0. And then from February to March, a couple of hundred. March to April, a couple of thousand. So I kept saying like, oh, plus this from last month, plus this from last month. You just see it growing and growing and growing and growing. That's a better observation on the goals you're trying to achieve. Because now I might not got to that 10,000 in 90 days, but I saw in 3 months that every time I put content out, every time I stepped up the bat, the numbers went up. The likes doubled, the likes tripled, the followers doubled, the followers tripled, the subscribers doubled on YouTube, subscribers tripled. I think last month was my biggest month. I jumped like up until December, I was getting like 8 subscribers here, 4 subscribers there, 5 subscribers. I hit my goal of 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And then December, I hit 36 subscribers in 1 month. That has never happened. And I know that because I documented it. So it's never happened. So I knew that was a great month. And I knew that, okay, whatever I implemented in December, that is definitely something we're going to carry into the following month. And then we could tweak it as we see fit. You see what I'm saying? You have to observe yourself, you know, with more data than 30 days. I mean, if a year is too long, do 6 months. Check in with yourself at the half year point. See what you've done. See where you haven't started. And then maybe you can put that on for the next 6 months. Another thing that helps with the New Year's resolutions, as I've been saying, was the journaling process. And I'm like a lot of people, you always hear that from therapy, you know, journal, write down and stuff. And, you know, you could believe it or not. But what I did was the first couple of paragraphs of each month. So I usually wait to the end of the last day of each month. I recap what I did and then I forecast what I want to do. So I would use the first couple of paragraphs, whatever happened, like, oh, this is crazy. I'm so excited. Boom, 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 boom. And then I get into what I did for that month. So I was able to find a new composition shot. I found out that I can post here. I figured out this moving forward. I figured out. So everything that I did, then I put the numbers. Like, so I had the goals, like 10K goals. I'm at 10K like goals on TikTok. I'm at 4,500. 100 subscribers on YouTube. I'm at 58. But then that was plus 10 from last month, 48 to 58. We jump, we're going. And then at the end, once I do that, what I'm going to take from this, what I'm going to continue to do, what I'm going to try to implement, and what I want to get done by the next month. And I did that every month. And I just did it right before this show. I updated my board, my calendar, my book for my New Year's entry. And it is actually pretty cool. And it's actually motivating to like read it and just see what I was wanting back in February of last year compared to what I was wanting at the end of the year. And I might do something where I go live or something or make videos where I start reading excerpts. But just to give you an example, like February of last year, I was like, yo, I just want to release an episode and be consistent. That was the tallest hill for me, was to release an episode and be consistent. Fast forward to December and I'm looking at my board now. It's like we're dropping episodes 3 times a week, and then we're doing Instagram reels and links and stories. And then we have YouTube. I'm reading this off my board, YouTube, podcast, and then we're going to do shorts. And then from Facebook, we're going to post reels and TikToks. That's where I'm at now. But I was able to see in February, I just wanted an episode consistently. Jeez, man. Every alert that's going to come on. I just wanted an episode consistently. So I was able to see the growth. from my mindset and also the growth from the statistics and the numbers. And so now when I set the goals for this year in my next entry, it's going to be, all right, well, we did this in 10 months. Matter of fact, actually, I kind of have to wait because I started in February. So once I get to that February date where I started, look at what we did for a whole year, assess it, see where we can get better. It's just like a business. And that's how you should run your stuff. It's like a business. And that's not just for content creating. You're in the gym. Okay, I was able to run. I remember when I first started running miles back in 2020. I just got out there in my neighborhood. My first mile was like 14 minutes. I didn't even run the whole thing. I walked, ran some of it, but it was 14 minutes. I got out there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and by the end of the pandemic, going into 2021, I'm running 7-8 minute miles with more energy. I'm running 5Ks in like 20 some minutes, 25, but that was just showing up, having the app being like, oh, okay, these are our numbers. This I can get better. Start Googling stretches because you start running, your body get tight, stretches, how to, what to eat. And you just start figuring out all the things that's going to make your time and make your effort better. So same thing, like documenting something or writing things down so you can see a progression. Or if you can see, let's say if I was looking at my YouTube stuff and everything was down, like, dang, another down month, 3 down months in a row. Okay, back to the drawing board. Something's not working. We're not connecting with people. We need to figure things out. So I would say those would be the 2 things is 1, don't try to get it all in this first month or the first day. And if you ain't lose any weight or if you didn't go viral by February, like give yourself a year. Give yourself a year. And if that's too long, give yourself 6 months. Break up your progress 6 months, half of the year. First half, second half of the year. This is how it was first half of the year. And then by December, hopefully, when you do your second half check-in, you be like, dang, everything's up. I think those 2 things to start, like I say, now I'm doing the show and I think I'm going to spend this first month of January because I know a lot of people want to achieve things and get things done. Just giving you tips on what I felt helped me and it's still helping me and it still keeps me motivated even through some of those times where I didn't want to do anything or the numbers weren't coming back like I thought it should and I'm getting discouraged. I felt all that last year. Still kept pushing because I have a system in place. So I'm going to give tips on that moving forward this month. Tips on how to maintain the New Year's resolutions. The title will be something like that. But yeah, first show of the year. Glad to be back. Did things around my studio. I'm excited for this year, and I'm really excited to see where this takes me. Thanks to everybody that subscribed. WhoGotTheAux.com. Full audio episodes. WhoGotTheAux, one word. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe. Whatever app is your speed, I'm there. I'm on Twitter, WhoGotTheAux_. I'm going to make a conscious effort. I'm going to write that down this year. I will be more active on Twitter. I've been saying this for years. I'm going to be more active on Twitter this year. Mark my words. I'm going to write that down. And I said it here, so I can't lie and fake the funk. But yeah, WhoGotTheAux. Subscribe, follow. I appreciate everybody. Everything everyone does. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see y'all at the next episode. Am I forgetting anything? Michigan lost. Bummer. Lost their bowl game to TCU. Georgia, same thing with Ohio State. That missed kick. Horrible. Playoffs about to start. I don't know. A lot of stuff going on. I kind of care, but I don't really care about it. Oh, I got this new pen. It's pretty excited about that. Tool, T-U-L, Tool. Great pen. Not that expensive either. Amazing pen. There's something for your journal. Get you an amazing pen. Also, too, this was cool at Target. This is the book I write in. Let's see if I can get it out of here. You got to go on YouTube to see it. But it's cool. It has like a bunch of it's like a bunch of fits. It was during like Black History Month. They had like these black artists come up with these books. So I thought this was a cool book. This is where I keep all my notes and all my entries in. So yeah, go get you something nice that you want to write in. And yeah, I encourage the journaling process for sure. Till next time, I'll see y'all at the next episode. I'm out of here.